Sorry. Ready or not, I'm here. Let's move that over here so you can hear me a little better. Good evening. Welcome to DWIT 3D, everybody. Thank you, everybody who's here early. My goodness, I've been watching this chat, and you guys have been having a real go at it early. Kieran, hello. Matt, Jerry, Kieran, Liam, and who else is on chat here? Stephen, welcome. The Apprentice, welcome. You're here now, so make a fool of myself. Hey, I probably will. So, hope everybody's had a great week. Welcome to Sunday. Come back in 5 minutes. You're not ready. Hey, Radmaster, what's up? Okay, I'll tell you what. Liam, you go away, come back in 5 minutes. Then we'll see what's happening. Oh, boy. Another hot one down here tonight. And a little bit of a heat wave. As always, this seems to be regular for the summer. So anyways, been playing with the old CNC a little bit this week. Been having some fun. Did my first, and no, it's not spelt wrong. Trust me. Did my first little cutout carving here, which was really cool. Did this today. And for Jerry, look what I got. There we go. See? They good. They fit over glasses too, so got those just for you, Jerry. Well, for me, but you know, and that's a safe thing to do, anyways. Joe Velasco, hello, and Mr. Darkhawk, welcome. So yeah, been playing with this thing a little bit this week. We did some cutouts. I did a few more, just little fun around engraving with the V-bit. I looked up the Carveco software. This week I spent about maybe 15 hours in total this week watching tutorials on the Carveco, and I really like that software. Now I noticed, thank you, Karen. I noticed that Liam, you had mentioned earlier, yeah, it's great software if you want to do complex V-bit carvings. It is. It's incredible. I watched most of the tutorials with all the different kinds of carving you can do with it. I like this because I'm very familiar with Adobe Illustrator. I used Adobe Illustrator at my other business a lot. And this Carveco software had a lot of similarities to Adobe Illustrator when it comes to the pre-tooling part of preparing files for carving. And then when it comes to actually adding the tooling, I found it super simple. I took a little gander earlier this week at I've just lost my train of thought. Hey, Tripod, how are you? I took a gander earlier this week at I forget. Anyways, a different piece of software. I've been looking at different kinds of software for preparing files for CNCing, and this one I found to be so simplistic. There's a little bit of a learning curve when it comes to choosing the tools, when it comes to choosing the passes, when it comes to choosing the the different terminology when it comes to tooling. It's all new to me, but I like the simplicity of the software, and $15 a month is not bad for a software that's going to make life a lot easier. And the nice thing, it's not Fusion. Oh, Fusion 360. That's the one I was thinking of. I don't know why I wasn't thinking. Fusion 360 I found very complex when I tried to. Anyways, those of you that use Fusion 360 know this. Those of you that are good at it are going to say, are you crazy? It's simple. Those of you that are simple-minded like me are going to go, no, it's not that simple. And Carveco was as simple to me as I was learning it. I've only used it a couple times now, but it was simple as me to learn, or as I was watching it, it looked like Adobe Illustrator with a few extra add-ons at the end to get the file ready to go to the CNC machine. So anyways, that's what I got a 1 month subscription so far. It's a month-to-month thing. I can cancel anytime. If I find I don't like it, I don't need it, I find something that's free and similar, then yeah, I'll do it. But I mean, for instance, I pay 2 Adobe licenses. Yes, they're for my other business, but I also use them at home. And, you know, I'm paying $60, $70 a month for my Adobe licenses, but they're worth it. They make me money. It's worth it. This is a $15 a month license for a hobby to begin with. If I can actually get into some carving and make some money doing it, and it pays for itself, it's not a huge expense to get some good software. So, Lama says he's decent at Fusion, but the manufacturing isn't simple and rather confusing in its layout. And that's kind of what I found. And then when I stumbled across or came across the Carveco site and watched, they have a ton, literally a ton of training videos. And the guy that does them, I found some of the training, to be honest, boring, but because I'm very, very familiar with Adobe Illustrator, I'm familiar with node editing, I'm familiar with curves, with editing nodes, with drawing shapes, and he went over a lot of that stuff, which to me was repetitive for me, but for a new user, the training was incredibly well done, right from which mouse button to click, which way to drag, et cetera, et cetera. So anyways, that's what I ended up trying. That's what I ended up liking. I created this little guy for me. This is just a little project for my wife that she asked me to do, and this took me all of less than 5 minutes to do in Carveco and get ready to cut and then send it to the machine, and it was cut out. I probably didn't select the best wood for this because it's got a little bit of rough edges around. This is just 5mm plywood, but just a little bit of sanding, and if I paint that up, that'll look really nice. And that actually came out beautiful, and I did that with a 1.5mm bit. 1.5mm, yeah, I think it was 1.5mm bit. Got the safety glasses. There we go. And Jeff Hutchins from BC, hello, welcome. Wicked powerful, yes it is. Got this little add-on in the mail this week. This is the laser add-on for this guy. So that'll be another stream one day. I'm going to throw that laser on it today. It's a fixed focus laser, so smaller, obviously smaller lasering area than the Ortours that we all have, but it's going to be a fun thing to try. And speaking of the Ortours, I saw Liam, you were on there talking about lasering on bamboo, and yes, I showed this the other week, and this is a bamboo board I did, and yeah, this stuff lasers beautifully, this bamboo. I had a little issue on the bottom, but that was my own fault. I tried to cover it up like you cover up a bad tattoo, but anyways, yeah, but bamboo laser is beautiful. It doesn't have to be too hot. You can go pretty quick, and with the texture of the wood and the different colors and the different shading, it is beautiful stuff. So I love this, and you can get these bamboo cutting boards here at the dollar store dirt cheap. I mean, that's a $4 cutting board, so good to practice on as well. Now I want to find out, I want to do tonight, I want to try a couple things. I want to do a V carving, see what a V carving looks like on a bamboo board, and then I'm also going to try and cut out my DWIT name on a piece of this 5mm plywood. So yeah, so I'm going to jump into the software, and I got a variety of bits here. Did I move them out of the way? I got a variety of bits here to use, right from 1.5mm to, I believe that's a 3.7mm large bit there for a milling bit. So I'm going to give them a go. Hey, Matt, I'm doing wonderful. Down cut or combo cut bit is great for clean edges on plywood. Okay, cool. Yeah, and I've only got a few I've got a few bits to begin with. I've got a package of V bits that came with it, and then I get this sort of assorted pack of, doesn't even say specifically what these are, but I believe these are just your standard milling bits, 1.5 to 3.175mm by 10mm. And they're just the blue coated. They work pretty good. I used the little one today to do this, to do that little cutout. Just use this little one. This, I guess, is the 1.5mm to do that cutout. And it worked quite well, actually. And it wasn't really overly messy. I had the vacuum going. Who said I'm up on my vacuum skills? You're correct. I am up on my vacuum skills. So, dig the shirt. Oh, thank you. I was going to wear your shirt tonight, and I thought, well, you know, that's getting old. Well, it's not getting old, but you know what? I'll change it out once in a while. So, anyways, let's jump into the software. I'm going to open the software up here for you guys. I'm sure most of you who are into this have seen this software before. So let's do this. Let me pull this screen over here. This is behind the scenes stuff that you guys can't see. Now, if I go to here and there we go. So this is the software. It's called Carveco Maker, the one that I got. That's the one that's a $15 a month subscription. They have 3 levels of software, Carveco does. So they have their Maker, which is the entry level, basically for the hobbyist, like what I'm doing. They have their Maker Plus, which has a few extra features. And then they have their Carveco, which is the professional. That is a multi-$1,000 software, the Carveco software. But that's for people that are those big, massive CNC machines, and they're making tons of money doing it. They're going to buy that kind of software. So $15 a month you think is steep. Well, I guess if you put it into perspective, it Canadian, it works out to about $20 a month for me. That's I don't drink coffee, I don't smoke. If I skip a couple breakfasts at McDonald's in the morning and have cereal instead, I can make up $20 a month like that. I mean, I could probably find it on the street if I need to. I don't find $20 a month to be a huge expense for something if it's going to give me results and make my life a little bit easier. So as I say, I pay a lot more than that for my Adobe subscriptions, but on the other hand, that's for the business and it does make money. So yes. Hey, Paul. Did I look at No, I have not looked at that. No, but I will. I don't recognize the name. Ezeal. Anyways, I'll look it up. When I did my search, I didn't come across that one, so I will look it up. But anyways, I've tried this one. I kind of liked it. I watched a lot of the training videos. The price isn't bad. If I could sell a piece a month for $20 and I could break even on it, I'd be happy with it. I wouldn't care. But let's just see. But I've got a long way to go. I just got to practice a lot more. So you'd sell body parts, but you're running low on supplies. That's good. That's good. Okay. So anyways, so first thing I want to do is I'm just going to show you guys that I'm on screen here. There we go. Open up an Illustrator. No, I don't need to open up an Illustrator. What am I doing that? There's my little, that was Illustrator that I made my thumbnail on. Oops. Yes. Easel. Oh, okay. Easel. Okay. That's an easier name for me to remember, Thomas. So I will, I'll look that up. But if I open up Carveco, when you open it up, this is the screen that you're presented with. Let me make this full screen. You guys don't need to see me right now. So basically, this is your main screen. If I had any projects, I could have them show here. There's different setup options. I'm leaving all these at the defaults for now. But I don't really... as I say, I'm new to this, okay? So you guys are going to see me stumble around a little bit about this. I've watched a lot of tutorials, but I'm still a little new and I still have to look for a few things. But for the most part, it's pretty simple to use once you get the hang of it and once you use it 2 or 3 times. So, Paul, I do like the engraver so far. Yes, I really do. So I'm going to go ahead and click New Model. The size I'm going to do is, let me measure this. I'm going to carve on this piece of bamboo first. So I'm looking at 260 by 200 millimeters. About 250 millimeters by 200 millimeters. No, 250 my width. And how long did I say my height was here? Whoops. 200. So it's about 200. I'm going to go 180 because that's the maximum of the machine. Okay. And then the resolution, we're going to crank all the way up. That's a whole other story. And then my origin is going to be at my XY origin is going to be on that bottom point there. I don't want it to start in the middle. When I'm designing, I want my XY to be on the bottom point. We're going to work in millimeters. We're going to go okay. And we're presented with my 3D board, which, as you can see, is just a 3-dimensional plane. And if I want to, I can also go to my 2D view, bitmap view, and design in that. But I don't mind either or. I'll start off in the 2D view. So again, as I said earlier, I'm a little bit new to this, so we're just going to, I'm not here to teach you guys how to use this. I'm here to basically show you guys that I'm going to walk through getting my logo on, hang on, I just lost my window here. Here we go. I wanted to do this. I'm going to show you guys that I'm going to get my logo ready to carve onto the bamboo here. So, but I'm going to try not to make it sound like a tutorial for the software because you can go on and watch those videos yourselves. So that is the truth about that. So let's make this full screen again. So I'm going to open or import. I believe I can just open I don't have to import, because this opens tons of supported files. I mean, I believe it even opens an Illustrator file. Maybe I have to import it an Illustrator file, but let's just see. So let me go to my folder here. Let me find my logo. Let's try this one. Hey, Kenneth saying, dropping in to say hi. Hello. Thank you for dropping in. So that's going to be my origin. Oh, this is importing it as a bitmap, and I didn't want to do that. So actually, I'm going to cancel that. I've imported the wrong one. So let's start over here. I brought the wrong one in. And I must have the idea to import. Actually, you know what I think I can do? I think I can just drag and drop. So on my desktop here, I have the file I'm trying to bring in, which is right here. And I think I can just drag and drop that right into here. I can. There we go. So drag and drop my file right in. There's my logo. Okay. I'm going to enlarge it. Well, it's got a huge border around it for some reason. Wow. Okay. I don't know why that huge border. That's just a simple vector. But anyways, so we're just going to enlarge that right in the middle. There we go. So there's my DWIT. Like that. So now that's basically is a vector. I can tell that because let's just have a look. First thing I'm going to do is run their vector doctor program over it and see if there's any issues as far as vector intersections, which we don't want. And there are no vectors. Oh, I have to select the vector first and then check for. Oh, and there's a lot of vector intersections happening here. But I think that's okay, because this is basically supposedly showing me where there's issues with broken lines. But there should not be any broken lines in here. So let's see. No, I think we're okay. I hope we're okay. See, I told you I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Good evening. So let's see what's happening here. Let's see what happens if I try and add a toolpath to this. So what I want to do here is a V-carve. I'm going to select my size of my material. And it was the thickness of this stuff. Let me double check. I got to grab my caliper here. Dum, dum, dum. There. Just got to measure the thickness of this stuff, guys. Hang on 1 second. I know this is not your typical stream for me. I've never streamed actually doing software before, so I'm kind of new to this. So it looks like we're doing 10.8 millimeter thickness here. I'm going to call that 10.5 millimeters thick on this board. Okay, there we go. So this piece of board that I'm going to carve onto is 10.5 millimeters thick. Okay, Matt, you take care. Have a good night. Okay, now, this just basically is asking me where I zero my tooling tool to. Do I zero it to the top of my material, or do I zero it to the bottom, which would be zeroing it to the spoil board? I'm going to zero it like we're doing a 3D printer type thing, zero it to the top of the board. So I'm not worried about all of that. And then the model position and material, we don't worry about that because that's only when we're doing 3D carving. So there's my material. So now in the 3D view, if you look, it's actually given a representation of the thickness of the material now. So now that I've selected a material, okay? Now I've got my material. Now I want to check, I want to select my tool. Now I haven't set up any of my own tools in here, but they've pretty much got all the tools I need in here. So wood, and then a V-carving tool. Now my V-carving bits are 60 degree. I'm pretty sure they're 60 degree bits here. And they are 8 millimeter. 8 millimeter? because all I have to do is edit one of these and copy it. Oh, sorry, that's a 3mm bit. Now, I think the 6mm might be the length. Yeah, I think that is, and this is a 6mm long bit. So we're good on that. So I'm going to select this one, but I'm going to edit, and I'm just going to tell it that it's a 60°. I'm pretty sure this is this a 60 or is this bigger than 60? Let me think. 60? Sorry, 60. Yeah, I believe these, no, these might even be 45. So let's see. We're going to call, no. It's not a 6045. I'm trying to find in the packaging the bits that came with this thing. It's either a 60 or a 45, and it does not look like a 60 to me. It looks more like a 45° V-bit. So I'm going to go with that. I can always change that if I so choose afterwards. So again, new to this software, so you got to bear with me for a second here. So my starting depth is 0 because I'm going to start at the top of the wood. Maximum depth that I want to go, I'm going to say a maximum depth of, I'm going to go 3mm to start. Whoops. No vector. Oh, I have to select the vector. See, I have to select the vector. So if I click refresh here, oh, vector intersections. I don't want that to happen. I don't like those intersections. Oh, this was supposed to go a lot easier than this. So I could open up the vector doctor again. And I somehow got to fix all this. I don't believe. Oh, I see. That obviously I've got an issue with my file here. But there's no intersecting vectors there. What that's telling me is that there's two vectors overlapping, but there's not. So I believe a quick way to fix that. Again, sorry guys, I just watched tutorials on this last week. And so I'm pretty new to this, and there is a way to fix that. And it's to select my vector. Oh man, maybe I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh boy, I'm telling you. This should have been a perfect vector coming into here because I worked on this earlier this morning and made it a perfect clean vector. But obviously this software is finding some issues in this. So let's go ahead and do that. Bitmap to vector. We're going to, there we go. So all I did was change it to a bitmap and then change the bitmap back to a vector. And that should have cleaned the vector up for me, but we will see. We'll find out in a second if it did. Okay, so if I go back to the toolpaths, vector intersections, it's still finding vector intersections even though I cleaned it up. Okay, so I wonder, okay, I think I see what I did here. I believe, oh, you know why? There it is. Okay, because sometimes when it brings the vectors in, there we go. And that's what I remember. It brings in more than one layer for some reason. So let's just see. Hang on one sec. If I select this, cut it. See, if you look at that, see if I'm deleting the top one, there's more than one there. Okay. There's more than one there. So that's what it's detecting. There we go. So let's see if that helped it. So we'll select that. You're still there. Okay, so Man, this is annoying me now. Okay. See, I told you guys I was going to make a fool of myself doing this. So we're going to change that vector to a bitmap. But I don't need these bottom ones. Let's get rid of those. Whoops. I think that is what's messing me up right here. So if I select everything, ungroup it all, get rid of the, no, I just ungrouped you. I just ungrouped you bums. Ungroup vectors, yes. Combine layers and flatten in Illustrator. I did. See, I did do that. Okay, I think this is going to do it. I think I just need to get rid of all these stray layers here. There we go. That should be a clean vector right there. Let's see. No, it's still got all these freaking markers in it. Well, let's have a look. Just for fun, let's have a look. Here we are in Illustrator. That is a clean vector in Illustrator. So let me first of all make that full window. Let me go ahead and find my Pathfinder. And this should all be okay. That I don't want to do. These should all be okay. That could be the issue right there. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I didn't clean this up as good as I thought. So anyways, you guys are probably all by now saying, I thought he knew what he was doing. And I kind of do, but I'm, you know. Yeah. Yeah, this is all, it's all one layer, but let's see, what do I have here? Well, I know what you're saying. You're saying to combine all these layers. But I've only got the one layer, and I've just got a group. So basically that's the one layer there, my path. I don't need that. I don't need that. But yeah. Group top layers. I can flatten them. Yeah. I got my clipping maths made on them now. So yeah, so this, so that's all one group. That's that yeah. Now flatten. Yeah, flatten the whole, but there's no flatten artwork. It's all flattened. Then we have all our paths in there, which is probably right because we're flattened. Well, let's try that and see. I'm hearing you, Llama. I'm watching. I'm listening to you. I don't usually have this issue with vectors in Illustrator. No, they shouldn't count where straight line segments meets a curve as an intersection. Well, they do, but that should be joined because there should be no breaks in the nodes in any of this stuff. So let's see what happened. We save that. Let's go ahead and just do a new one. I don't want to save my changes. Well, let's drag this in here and see what happens. I don't know why I still get that big bounding box on that, but that's okay. Now, why aren't you letting me scale? There we go. Hey, Maker Viking. Why won't you let me scale? Yeah, see, I should have practiced this software more before I decided to go live with it. Told you guys, I said earlier, who wants to see me make a fool of myself? Okay, but just for fun anyways. Whoa, whoa. Just for fun anyways, let's just see if I have the same issue with this. And there's the same issue happening with this as far as vector intersections going. So if I zoom in on one, there's really nothing. No. Okay, so what we're going to do, what the heck, I'm just going to forget this. It is how we learn. But I still need to, I shouldn't be taking this long to figure this out. I had no problem earlier today when I cut this other part out for myself. It worked out perfectly, and I brought that in from Illustrator as just a straight vector curve. So I don't understand, but if I go in here, this should be, there's really nothing. Well, maybe that's being an issue. If I get rid of this guy, but that's not the issue I'm having. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, there's those underlying issues right there. Okay. Let's get rid of that. And I think that's the only other thing. We'll get rid of that head. Okay, there's something off to the side here. What else do we have? Nothing there. There. That should all be good. If I put that all back, there should be no duplicate vector lines in here. Nothing. So let's move that, that. There, we have all that. That should be clean. Fusion would have been done already. Yeah, probably. Well, let me just, anyways, export this as a, let's try just for fun. I'm going to export this as a EPS. I'm going to save this as an EPS. I wonder if an EPS would work any better than an AI file. I'm going to save on my computer, save to my desktop, and we're going to save that as an EPS just to see if it makes any difference. I know you could have had this all done in Fusion by now, but you know what? I'd be worse in Fusion because I don't know the software, and of course I don't know this one. So I just want to see if this makes any difference. So we bring that in. Okay, let's just see if this is going to make any difference already before I go too much further. Look at that. See, it's fixed. I select the vector, identify, and there's no problems with it. Okay, good. So I have no problems with it at all now. Hold on, I want to get rid of that bounding box. So let's ungroup the vectors. Let's get rid of this guy. There we go. Now, the only thing that I'm not on Project 5 already, yeah. You guys are making me laugh. For some reason, I cannot seem to, oh, maybe I got to get out of this. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong here. I don't know why. Let me go to the 2D view. I can't seem to scale this. I can't seem to get this to scale. And it worked before where you just select it, you have your selection tool ready, and you scale it. But let's just see. Set size, set position. Oh, maybe I can set the size right here. Height 21, image size. Wow, no. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Anyways, I'm going to do something just a little different here first. I'm going to close this one. Okay, I'm just going to... I'll get back to figuring out how that's done. I'll get back to figuring out what I'm doing wrong there. But for now, I'm just going to bring this in, just like I did last time. And before I do anything, I'm just going to scale this up to size that I want. Okay, and it's just the logo because I don't want the outer box. For some reason, it's bringing in a box when I do that. So I just want that. Now I'm going to ungroup the vectors. Now I can get rid of this box. Boom. And now I have what I want right here. And if I run the vector doctor on it, select all the vectors, select everything in there, I should get no errors when I identify intersections and nothing. Everything's good. Okay, so that being said, I should be able to close this. I should be able to create a toolpath now. Let's do a V-bit. How thick did I say the material was? I think I said it was 6.5 millimeters. No, 10.5 millimeters. 10.5. Oh, this is a long way around. I'm embarrassed. I should have had this a little bit more practiced. But then again, you know what? We learn together. We'll select the V-bit here again. It was a 6 millimeter, and we decided it was 45 degrees, 90 degrees. No, we're going to edit that. I'm pretty sure, yeah, 45. I'm pretty sure it's a 45 degree bit. Let's just do that. So if I select the vectors, so basically what that's telling me is with that particular bit that I chose, the maximum depth that I can go is 2.756 millimeters, which is fine for me. So start depth, we're going to go at 0. Maximum depth, we're just going to go with the tool's maximum depth, 2.756 millimeters, okay? How's that? We don't need a roughing tool because I'm not going to rough anything in around it. I just want to... Well, we have to tell it the maximum depth of the tool. So 2.7, maximum depth. Okay, let's 2.5 millimeters. 2.5. Okay, we'll keep it at that. There we go. Now we've calculated my tool path. And we should have the thickness of the material in here. There's the calculated tool path, and then I can go up to the tool paths and I can simulate. So there's my V-bit carving, and I can simulate the tool path as to what it's going to look like when it actually carves the wood. Whoops. And there's sort of what it's going to look like. And I can do all kinds of funky stuff to it. Oh, this is just like... I can actually then, if I delete that simulation and go ahead and tell it to simulation control bar, I can actually watch the simulation carve. And this is how it's going to carve. It's pretty cool. So it's doing a few passes, obviously. I can probably minimize that. There's a cleanup pass going right there. There's the eyes and the smile, and there's the finished product. You're playing in space again. Okay, Thomas, thanks. Okay, I'll do that. That's that border, the document in Illustrator. You are so correct. So I can basically up here, so I can go maximum width, maximum depth. That's fine. That's just the maximum width that this tool can cut. That's the maximum depth it can cut. I don't need a roughing tool. Safe Z is just basically the height that the tool will go anytime it's making a move. Basically, that's to clear any devices or anything holding down the board on there. So I'm going to be well within my clips because my clips are going to be on the outside, right and left of the board. So I should be fine right there. So yeah, I should be good. And there's a lot of other different things I can do in here. But I want to keep it simple for now. But for now, I just want to do a V carving of my logo on this board and see how it turns out. So once I've got this done, I can delete the simulation or keep it. It doesn't matter. Okay, then I can go to my V carving, right mouse click, and save as. The nice thing about this is it has all kinds of different options I can do here. So all I have is one carving. I'm only using one tool. This will do multiple tools, which will allow you to change tools out as well as you go. If I had tool number 2 as a clearing bit, for instance, it would carve and then it would retract and it would say insert tool number 2. It would basically do a pause, sort of like when you're doing a filament change on a 3D printer. It'll allow me to do a pause. But the beauty of it is it's got all kinds of machines in here, like exporting for every machine you could think of. So we are using SaneSmart. So let's go down to S. There's SaneSmart. So we're using SaneSmart 3018 PROVer. Okay, and I'm using millimeters, which I don't really know why. So 3018 millimeter, and then there's a 3018 PROVer inch. Since I designed this in millimeter, I'm going to do millimeter. File name we're going to call DWIT bamboo, and I'm going to put it in on my desktop. Better yet, let me put this micro SD card in. That's going to pop up and somewhere and tell me that I've inserted a micro SD card. At least it should. You ever do that? Sometimes you oh, there it is right there, USB drive E. So we're going to put it in E. We're going to open that. So we're going to call it DWIT bamboo. It's going on my micro SD card, which is in my E drive, and then I just click save, and boom, just like that. It did save, even though it didn't clear. It saved, and just like that, I think I can go back. I think I can go back. Oh. Let me bring this over here. Let me stop sharing my screen. Stop sharing my screen. Whew. How painful was that on a scale of 1 to 10 for all you guys to watch? If anybody says less than an 11, you're lying to me, because it was painful for me. And that was really simple. So anyways, so let's go to my bench camera here, to the machine. I got my V-bit. So we're going to insert the V-bit. Get my handy-duty wrenches. And we're going to tighten that V-bit on. Keep getting my chubby hands in the way of the camera. Okay, V-bit's tight. We're going to plug the SD card in here. Thanks, Thomas. You enjoy watching others suffer? I can understand that. Now, you may all criticize how I put these on, but these have worked fine for me so far. So I'm just going to tighten these down. I know I need to get some pieces of wood under these things, but this has worked okay for me for now. Got the wasteboard on here. No problem. I haven't leveled the wasteboard yet, but the couple cuttings I did do, it seems to be pretty good as it is. So let's just secure this down. I tried the tape method with the super glue, works really well. complaints at all with it. Yeah, I need to get some blocks under these other ones so that they level, because this is tightening on the angle that it's on, but that's extremely snug in there anyways. So that's going to hold that in no problem. Okay. "3D print some arms," and and I will do that. But I've just been doing this for now. But I agree with you, Thomas. I want to 3D print some arms that have various heights so that I can just put them in here. And you're right. And if it hits a 3D print, big deal. It's not going to break the bit exactly. Versus hitting these, which will kill the bit, right? For sure. So let's power this up. We are going to, I'm going to come down and just home it over here, but the XY home is not going to basically, I found what happens is whatever I home on here, X and Y, it's overridden by the G code on this card. So ideally, because I put the size of the board in the software, it's going to hopefully put this right in the center. I think I had it in the center in the software. We'll see. But this is where I do have to do the Z though, for sure. So, and the way that you guys showed me last week for doing the Z is the way I'll do it right now. So we're going to move X over here. I think I'm going to go 100 because it's quite right in the middle there. Don't think I'll hit the limit switch there. No, not quite. Okay, now we're going to bring Y forward. Oh, other way. I keep getting Y backwards. Why? Because I like it. Okay, and we'll bring Y forward a little more. Okay, now we'll bring the Z down and we're going to home the Z. Okay. Now we'll do it in 0.1 increments. Let's get the camera around here. So we're going to just bring the Z down. I like this way of homing Z. The probe works too, but this way is I get the feel for it. There we go. That is right under. So we're good. Then we go to select, then we go to control, and we are going to 0, X, Y, and Z. Okay, now I'm going to enter, and I'm going to find my file. DWIT bamboo. Oh, you can't really see that too well. DWIT bamboo, and it's called TAP. Some of the other files on here, the extensions are NC, but this one's the extension on this one is TAP. Okay, and then now safety first. Where are they? If Jerry's watching, if you're watching, goggles. And then depending on the mess, and who mentioned the vacuum comment? Aha. And we're going to hit enter and go. So we're going to move into position, and here we go. Let's see what happens. Oh, just a couple dots. So let me get this other camera on here as well. See if this is any better. There we go. So let's do a few passes according to the software. And let's just see. And I'm off center. I obviously didn't center it properly in the software. But that's okay. Suction, suction. It's art, it doesn't need to be centered. Yes, exactly. Expensive way to make sawdust? Absolutely. This is my first time CNCing bamboo. Making a lot of little points for some reason, but hey. Oh, there we go. Now we're going to cut. Oh, there's the smiley face. Well, I hope this isn't too far to the right. This may be too far to the right because we're getting close to that. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, keep my hand on the emergency switch. It might be okay. It's a good thing bamboo is cheap. Hey, Dan. Now let's switch this view now. There we go. Oh, okay, we're going to work good then. The T is not hurting. It came a little bit close to that one side, but that's okay. It looks like we're good. Suction. This is my first time ever using a CNC machine too, guys. So, other than last week when Liam, thank you Liam again, walked me through doing my very first ever carving. But I kind of like this. It's exciting to learn. It's subtractive manufacturing, right? So it's pretty cool. Suction, suction. Interesting. Oh, there it is. See why the big CNCs have a vacuum built into them. Interesting little down movements there. I don't know why it's doing those, but Almost like it's creating a boundary that it's going to then go around and clear out. It's probably because it's the corners. Hey, Mika Steve. There we go, some real carving. I'm just doing that so you guys can see it easy. So when I did the cutout of the this word today, this was on a 5mm plywood, this guy here. You can see it's a little rough around the edge, it just needs a bit of cleaning up. But this didn't take as long. I think when you're cutting versus V-bit carving, it's a little quicker because you're just doing straight edge cuts. Whereas V-bit carving is obviously doing a little more precision, and you don't want to go too deep all at the same time. From my understanding, my limited knowledge. Oh, don't hit the bit with the vacuum, he said. Because it'll V-bit carve the tip of the vacuum. Yeah, the plywood signs look, it looks hairy, but that can be cleaned up. A little bit of sandpaper. I could have gone probably, I don't know if going slower would have made, no, maybe faster would have made a difference. I don't know. Or if it's just the nature of plywood. The backside looks decent. Whoops. All the hairy parts are right on the front side, but the back side, the edges are not bad. There, that's a good view right there. So, but the plywood was cheap. Oh, okay. Leave on 0.5 millimeter and a slow last pass. Okay, good to know. I want to try cutting acrylic, and I want to try cutting aluminum composite as well. What happened to the sound? You've got no sound? You must have sound. Woo-hoo. down cut bit. Okay, these bits are, I don't know, these might be up cut. Again, I'm just learning, but these are the bits here that I used to cut the plywood. That end one on the right there. And I believe those are down cut bits. Anyways, it's a learning curve as we go. But it's a fun learning curve. Joe hit his master mute button. I know, people want to mute me all the time. That's all right. This almost seems like it could be as exciting as watching paint dry. Downcuts are more money. Okay, yeah. These are all uppercuts. These will probably work good for acrylic, I would assume. Well, that makes sense because on plywood, the uppercut's going to pull the wood up, right? Nice bits. Nice bits. That makes sense because an uppercut bit is going to pull the wood upwards. A downcut bit is going to sort of force the wood to go down, preventing those little chips on the edge of the plywood, right? Yeah. But as I say, I should be able to sand this out, no problem. A little bit of sandpaper. It's not going to be hard to sand that off of there, no problem. Even with a file, a little fingernail file should work. Ah, there we go, exactly. Yeah, it kind of makes sense too, right? It's just like a common sense logical thing. Well, when this is all said and done, it'll be interesting to see how well this cleans up. Whether V-bit carving works well on bamboo. It should. Although I like the lasering on bamboo. It's beautiful stuff. I did a 4-hour laser piece for a client earlier today. Or, sorry, yesterday. 2 hours, 2 passes. Big letter D in the middle of a big board. Oh, that makes sense, which is why we want to vacuum those chips out as it goes. Makes sense. Makes good sense there, Thomas. Darn, I'm a little choked that it's not centered. I'm going to check the software while I'm doing this, see if that was my doing. When I resized it, that I probably... Oh no, it's in the middle of the... Yeah, I obviously did something wrong. Because it's in the middle of the piece. Use a weeding tool. Okay. Yeah. That's true. I'd be a good doctor's assistant. I'm good on the suction. Home tells the machine where the spindle is. 0 just tells it the material location. Okay. Yeah, I gotta practice this stuff. Oh, I think it's on its final pass. Still got to do the middle of the D. Ooh, flow some nice bright red resin into the grooves. Oh, wouldn't that be sweet? That's a great idea. That would give it a really nice look. If only there was a way to print one of those out. Yeah, if only. Vacuum adapter around the collet. Yeah. Although, yeah. It's not overly messy, and you don't want to stray away from these machines, just like the laser. So to have a vacuum in the garage, I have a shop vac I was using today when I was cutting out the plywood, and the shop vac worked really well. Can I live increase the feed rate? I don't think I can. No, not with the hand controller. If I ran it from the PC, I probably could. So you're saying I could have got away with a faster feed rate than this? Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't live increase. Not with using the hand controller. I'm sure in the software I could have set that, the feed rate. I know, it's like watching paint dry. Let's have a look in the software. Yeah, the feed rate. Right now the feed rate is set as 8.5 millimeters per second. Step over 0.2 millimeters. So I could have increased that feed rate. You figure what, from 8.5, you think I could have doubled that? So it's a lot of passes. Looks like oh yeah, it's doing a fair bit of passes for this too. 700 millimeters per minute. So let me do the calculation here. So 11.6. So I could have gone from 8.5 millimeters to 11.6. So a little faster, not double. Auto can't spell. So it would have gone a little quicker. Probably increased it by 10 minutes or so. Oh, I just hope this turns out nice. Would have been a little nicer if it was centered more, but hey. Let's switch to this one for a minute. There we go. Whoa! Let's switch to this camera and then knock it over. Go even faster? Yeah. Okay. Now that would depend too on the material you're milling. I would think. Bamboo seems to be pretty soft. Well, 21 people watching my paint dry, which I like. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Just like me, you want to see the finished product. Section. I think it's going to look decent. I really do. You get a little higher angle on that, you can kind of get an idea. It's going to be different than, obviously lasering is a much different look, but I kind of think Mike had the idea, if you pour some nice deep red resin into that. But, yeah, it is looking very clean, John. See how close I can get you to that bit without hitting the bit. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Look at that thing go. Boy, on screen, it looks like the bit is turning a lot slower than it actually is. It's obviously the camera refresh rate. This close-up camera gives you a really cool view. .800 millimeters a minute, and hardwoods drop that to 5. Okay, cool. The RPM is 10,000. That's the maximum. This one will go is 10,000. You can get a 20,000 upgrade for it. But this probably do everything I want it to do. Whoops. It moved. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah. It's looking a bit rough in from some angles. But mind you, there's still a bit of dust to clean out in it yet. Yeah. According to the hand controller, it's 75% done. So it's a slow process, definitely. But looks like I could have done this a little quicker. But live and learn. The other option. The other option was to put the camera over on the job that's printing on the Prusa right now. 37-hour print going on in the Prusa right now for a customer. They insisted, even after all the talking I did, they insisted on 100% infill for their job. I told them you don't need to do 100% infill to get the strength out of this material, but they insisted on 100%, so customer's always right. Suction? You need suction? Whoops! Don't hit the spindle. That's what I get for using the opposite hand. Oh, come on. There we go. I'm not worried about the spindle. I'm worried about the tip of my vacuum. Nurse is chatting. could have cut in 2 passes. This thing? Oh. Oh well. Live and learn. Live and learn. We're up to 81%. The stream would have been over way too fast if I cut in 2 passes. I should have just done this as a straight out cutout of the bamboo. But I don't think the spindles I have are deep enough to do that without a clearance cut. As long as the nurse has nice bits. Hey. You guys want to see my bits? Okay, hope I don't get demonetized. Not that I'm monetized. Hey, check out those bits. Woohoo! Okay. Good to know, Thomas. I'll have to try that next time. Just tweak my settings. Well, there we go. Wandering. Oh, now we're getting in the middle of the D. I think we're on the home stretch. Then we'll critique it like we would a 3D print. Good one, Liam. Oh, I think I'm going to get a face now. See if I'm still smiling now. Well, come on. How many plunges at the eyeball do you need? You're gouging my eye out there. %. Getting a facelift. Oh, come on. This is one eyeball. Just plunge down and you're done. It's not a Michelangelo. There we go. Smile's going to be interesting. Oh, come on. I guess it's going to be perfect. They're my eyes. I guess if you go too quick, you could also cause the wood to splinter too, I would imagine. Especially bamboo. But this will be a work of art when it's done. It's worth the wait. 98%. I think it's just got a smile to go now, and that's it. Turn that frown upside down. Come on, everybody. Hit that like button and smile. Oh, okay, cool. The plunging is a V-carve feature of the software, creating a tapered V-shaped sides. Oh, okay. There goes my smile. Now that it's got to carve out all the individual teeth. Oh! We are done. Oh. Just me, or was that painful? Anyways, first thing I'm going to do, let's move this bit up. Let's move this bit up out of the way. Here, let's, you guys see what I'm doing here. Whoops. It's like my camera's drunk. Okay, and I'm just going to move it. Oh, I went too far. I hit the limit switch. Yeah. Okay. Now I can actually set this so that it basically presents itself like this to me when it's done. But I didn't do that, obviously. Just going to vacuum this out. Then we'll have a look at it. Okay, let's unclamp it. Let's unjed clamp it. It is a nice little machine. I'm enjoying this. And I've only just begun. Oh, wow. Let me get the vacuum out here a little more first. This actually is nice looking. There I go blowing again. A couple little areas in here that got to get the dust out of, but here, let's have a look at this. This is not bad. I kind of like this. Man, it's hard. That light's killing it. Hang on. Here we go. Look, that turned out nice. And those are smooth edges. I mean, that's took a while, but boy, not centered. But who cares? I can do something else over here. But I kind of like that. How clean those cuts are. Got a little bit of dust up in here. I got to clean out. The vacuum's not quite sucking all that stuff out. Well, that turned out good. It turned out real good. I can probably take, like if I use these little tweezers, yeah, just to get that excess dust out. Even a blower would work good, but I was quite happy with that. Man, it's hard on camera. It doesn't look as impressive as it does in person, really. But that is really, really cool. That is cool. Now I could see, as Mike mentioned earlier, flooding that with something red, or and then you just wipe the excess off. But see, okay, right there, and see, this is, I think, why bamboo is a little pickier. Right there, you can see a little tip of that T is chipped off. just from blowing out all the things. So it is very fussy, I assume, and it's a lot to do with the kind of wood. So bamboos, as we know, is a little bit of a, I guess, a flaky wood, or not flaky is the word, but chippy. And even up in the W there, you can see there's a couple spots right. It's really hard to see, but a couple little spots right there where the tip, just the tip of the W was chipped off a little bit, just like on the tip of that T right there. But I mean, that's not bad at all for my first sort of official V carving. Quite happy with that. So now I just want to check something on the software real quick. Splintery. Thank you, Thomas. That's the word I was looking for. Get the red resin out. I don't have any resin. I just sold my resin printer and all my resin. So that's another story. I don't have time to do resin. But let's have a look. I'm going to put this over here again. I'm going to share the screen again. This one right here. Okay, and then I'm going to hit share because I want to try one more quick thing here. Now, this is what we just did. Red Sharpie, a very fine point Sharpie. Use Llama's favorite blue tape before you engrave. It will prevent the chips. Good point. Green painter's tape or blue painter's tape, right? Same idea. So if I clear this, if I get rid of this carving, delete the V-bit carving here. Let me make this. How come I'm not full screen for you guys on that? Oh, I got to do this. So if I get rid of that, now if I go ahead and close that, and I want to add a new tool path, and let's suppose I want to do a cutout of it. We'll select the thickness of the material, which was 10.5 millimeter. That's not going to change. And let's click the tool. So this would be a roughing and 2D finishing tool, an end mill, 1.5 millimeter end mill tool. And then on this tool, 10,000 RPM. Okay, so we have a feed rate of 42, which is much higher than we were just using. Okay, but the material, so I'm going to try something here. And if anybody wants to stick around while I try this, stick around while I try this. Why not? Material thickness, I'm going to set it up. And the material I'm going to cut is 5.5 millimeters. I happen to know because I did a cut today. I want to add bridges. I added bridges before. They didn't work so well. We can try to add bridges. I have a feeling those, yeah, anyways. And I don't want 3D bridges. I want 2D bridges. Thickness of the bridges, half a millimeter. Length of the bridges, I can go 1 millimeter. I'll go for it. Add, so it's add bridges. Constant number of 4, so it's added bridges where it thinks I need bridges. That's a lot of bridges. But for what it's doing, oh, I think that's going to cut out differently than I think. Oh, especially, I'm just curious what this does. So if I calculate the tool path, that's a lot of passes. So each red line indicates a pass of the tool. So I can go a little more, it's stepping down 1.5 millimeter. So that's only going to step down 1.5 into 5 is 3. That should only be 3 passes. I wonder why it's doing so many. I think this isn't going to cut the way I think it's going to cut. Oh yeah, that's going to cut more lines than I want it to cut. So yeah. Okay, that's sort of not what I was after. Because that's going to cut that right out like that. Okay, so what I was trying to do more, and this isn't really a perfect job for, let's just go back to this and let's get rid of that cut view. I believe it's this one. Oh, I got to clear the simulation. That's what I got to do. Delete the simulation. And I'm just going to delete the profile for now. So what I need to do, oh, how do I clear all those? Bridges, clear bridges, remove all. Oops, remove all. There we go. So what I wanted to do, I guess I need to delete inside vectors. That's a really tough one to cut out because the middle of the D will fall out without a big bridge. So really what I'm after is something like that with that drilled in it. But just because I want to try something here and just to show you guys. So let's just do that. This will definitely, 1.5 millimeters is a deep path. Yeah, I'll only keep the outside, Liam. That's what I was, obviously I didn't see your comment, but just working on that now because it really only works better on outside paths. I could do inside, but then I'd have to do individual bridges. And I don't want to take that time right now. Oops. So if I go ahead and do that, 1.5 step down. Okay, we do 1 millimeter step down. It'll do 5 passes. Plunge rate 12 millimeters per second. Feed rate 42. Tool number 1, cutting direction climb. We want to, though, I want to profile from the outside. So in other words, I want it to cut around the outside so it's the proper size. I want to add a lead in. I can do a lead in of about 5 millimeters. I don't want to overcut. The lead in can be a 45-degree linear. That's fine. A circular arc is nice because then we don't get that sharp edge. And we'll do a radius of 35, I believe. Okay. Don't want to ramp it. And bridges we're going to add. See what happens there. Okay, that looks not bad. That's better. That's a better looking cutout. Okay. And my material stayed at 5.5 millimeters. Let's simulate this one. So this is going to go in, it's going to cut, it's going to cut. There's my lead in and lead out curve. It's going to cut it a fair amount of times, but it should keep it nice and clean. And that should go right through the material. Okay, but I didn't, the bridges didn't go, so I didn't go in. So what I need to do is go in and add the bridges. There we go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bridges. That's fine. That's just to hold the piece in place. Calculate now. Oh, my material's not showing in there. There we go. There we go. And that should work. If we simulate that profile, the tool path. There we go. And it should show somewhere in there. Oh, it's not showing the bridges. But the bridges are there, I hope. Yeah, we'll have 4 bridges showing. Well, let's try it. Spoil board for cutout. I have a spoil board on here. So what I'll do, for those of you that want me to do this, first thing I'll do is I will go and I'll take this profile. I'll save it as, we will call it DWIT cutout. Save it on my E drive again. And we've got the Sane Smart 3018 Pro. Okay, done and save. If I hit save, and that's one thing. If you hit save, it's saved. It doesn't look like it did, but if I hit it again, it wants to know if I want to overwrite it. So we know it's saved. We'll eject the card. We'll bring back my pretty face. I'm going to put the card in the reader. And we'll switch over to the bench. There we go. And let's get this bit out. back this up a little bit. Oh. Okay. Pull the V-bit out, put it in its case. Yeah, we've got a good spoil board. Nice solid spoil board here. And let's pull the 1.5 millimeter bit, put it in. There we go. Okay. And the material is right here. Just a piece of 5 millimeter plywood. Pretty much the only plywood I've got right now. Oops. Nice and solid. One more clamp here. There we go. Clamp down nicely. Okay. Power this sucker up. Don't set the cutout path. Did you set? Yes, I did. It's outside the lines. There's outside on the line and inside the line. I set it for outside the lines. I'm just looking for, before I get started too far, there we are. Safety goggles, important. So I'm going to bring Y back. It's going to bring this back somewhere where I can hold it. Let's bring X over. Okay. Okay, and let's get Z homed. Okay. That is good right there. So we have Z homed, X homed, and Y homed. We'll go to Control. We'll go down to 0, X, Y, Z. Okay, let's raise Z up a little bit before we start. Okay, let's go to the File menu. And we'll find DWIT cutout. Get our safety glasses on. Safety first. I'm at 0, not home. Home first. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're 0. I get what you're saying. So home at first. I think this thing might be in the way of homing on this one side. I see what you're saying, you guys. But I don't want that to hit. Okay, let's do that. Let's go back. Home, and we'll home it. That might hit, though. I'm a little concerned if that's going to hit. I guess I off for now. Yeah, that will definitely hit that if I home it. I should have put this maybe in a different position. Here, let me change the position of this just one clamp. I think I know what I'm doing here. Hopefully. Hey, well, let's just do this. Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, we're home. Now I can go ahead and zero my XYZ. Okay. I get where you're coming from. I see what you're throwing down. Okay, let me put this clamp back on real quick. And I got a 0Z again now. 0Z. Okay. Got you, Liam. There we go. Perfect. Now we'll homer. Zero it. There we go. Okay. Okay, ready to cut. Oh, okay, not homing is what the engraved logo is off center. Makes sense. Okay, so this one should come up cut out of the center of the wood then. Okay, let's see what it does. And let's get this other camera going too. Oh, okay. Okay, makes sense. It's a learning curve. Yeah, because it's off center to the right. Up and down is better. Okay. I gotta learn these things. Oops. Damn, camera. Sorry guys, my camera mount just broke. Ah. This one needs more suction. let's give you a better view. There we go. My other camera mount just broke, so I'll fix that later. No, it's 5mm thick material. I measured this. I did one cut earlier today, so I know that for a fact. 5.5mm to be precise. I told it was 5. That's a cool little suctioning vacuum. Yes, I did. Oh, 5.5mm, Liam. When I did it 5mm on my first test cut earlier today, it was onion skin too thin. Like it was just a little bit too thin. Needed 0.5mm extra to cut through. I guess I could have cut the center of the D out now that I think of it. I should have. I should have left the center of the D in there to cut out. Oh well. I'm cutting into my scrolling board already? I don't think so. Let's see. Not quite. We'll see. .1mm. 4.1mm. So it's a 5mm board. I'll check it again. I'll check the depth again after it gets through the A here. I don't want to get too close to that blade, obviously. .03. This should be the last cut. And might go once more to get to 5.5. Yeah, it's going to go one more to get to that last point, 0.2. This will be the last cut. Then we'll check the spoil board, see if I was wrong. That's why I have 3 of them. But I can always make more. Yep, this is the last cut. It's loose right here. It should stop after the finish of this cut when it arcs out. Yep. That's it. Now it should finish. No. Okay, we'll stop it. That was the last cut because it just, you guys saw it just popped out. It was going to do one more, so obviously I underestimated something. Okay, let me vacuum this up. Tabs didn't work, no. Okay, let's loosen these off. Let's see what we got here. Actually, too bad the tabs didn't work. I could have gone back in and maybe done the middle of the D. Okay, let's get these. I just want to see what the spoil board looks like. There we go. Cut out nicely there. Whoop. And here we go. So, hardly scorched the spoil board at all. And hardly, you can see a little bit there. Not bad. Okay, so that came out a little cleaner than Oh, let me switch. Sorry guys, I got to pull this over to this screen here. That came out cleaner than my initial one, my first one, because there's not as much detail in it. So here, let me get it on the close-up for you guys. So not as much cleanup to do on that. I should have cut the middle of the D out. I didn't even think that that wouldn't have been a problem, and I could have drilled, actually milled out the mouth and the eyes. So, but that, I'll learn as I go. But yeah, the tabs, it didn't even attempt to do the tabs, which is interesting because they were still in the drawing there. So I got to work on those. So the camera angle did make it look deeper, yeah, but I was watching it because generally when it cuts through, you can see a little bit of warble. But yeah, that spoil board was hardly touched. This side's nice and clean. And a little bit of sanding, and that'll look pretty good. Actually, I can just draw the middle of those on and keep that. And then there's the board that it was cut out of. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. So that's pretty cool. So I like that, and I made the software look a lot more difficult than it is. Honestly, to be honest with you guys, I'm being transparent here. I watched a lot of videos on it. I practiced with it as I was watching the videos, and it was easy. I got a little bit nervous. This is my first time actually doing a live software thing on my channel, so I was a little bit nervous, and you forget things when that happens. At least I do anyway. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But all in all, it worked. So the software has different things where you can do a V-carve, you can do a cutout like I did, you can do a 3D drawing with the V-carve, which is really cool. Bringing in a photo and it converts the photo to vectors to V-carve draw it, and it's really cool. Liam, I think you've done a lot of that. So, okay, Thomas, thank you for hanging out, and thanks for all the comments and all the positive feedback. I really appreciate it. It was great. So we're going to end this anyways. That was a bonus cutting that last one, and it's right on 2 hours. Look at that. Perfect 2 hour stream. So yeah, as I say, a little bit nervous about it, but it ended up working out pretty good. So we ended up doing a V-carve on the bamboo, which you can't see on that camera, but there's that V-carve. Whoa, which turned out really, really good. I lost one of my other cameras. So there's the V-carve, and then we just took the same artwork and did the cutout of a piece of 5 millimeter plywood. So it turned out really cool. I can see having a lot of fun with this machine, doing some pretty cool stuff. I could actually now take this. What I'll probably do is take this, do something on the laser with it to sort of maybe put a little border or something around the laser to make it look like it was purposely carved off center. Hey, how's that? So, I mean, oh, here, why is this screen sharing? Remove. There we are. Whew, that freaked me out. But that's the beauty of it is I can then go ahead now on my Ortour laser something on the side and on the bottom. And I purposely put that there because I knew I was going to laser something on this. Yes, that wasn't a mistake. That was easy. Flip the image so face is cleaner. Yes, true. That's a good point too. When I'm cutting with the plywood, I'm going to try different kinds of materials. I just picked these 2 sheets of this plywood up and just jigsawed it down to size to cut. It's probably not the easiest thing to use. And it could be, if I use a different kind of bit, as well as Thomas was saying, a downward bit versus an upward bit, or whatever you want to call that, would probably prevent that, but it would give me the problem on the opposite side maybe, and so the front is clean. So, but yeah, that's great. But yeah, I think what I'll do is I will take this, I'll do some sort of a design on my Ortour, and then that'll be a nice little, little piece to hang up or show or keep or whatever. So yeah, always good to have some fun with this stuff, and it's always fun to learn. Again, my first experience ever with CNC, and I'm actually quite enjoying it. The software is really helping. Would I recommend the software? If you have $15 a month you can put away or throw away and just for a hobby, why not? I mean, it's no more expensive than some of the other software programs you can get. And I know there's free stuff out there, but I always go for simplicity, because to me the simplicity and lack of stress and lack of frustration has a price tag on it, and it's worth it sometimes. So that's just my opinion. So thank you very much, Tripod. Appreciate that. I'm going to play with this thing a little bit more. I don't know what we're going to do next Sunday, but stay tuned and find out. I mean, could be more of this. I might try a 3D carving next week. You never know what I'm going to do. So I like to keep you guys guessing till the last second. So for all of you guys that hung out with me, I appreciate it. And everybody that, stuck with me through this, I appreciate it. I always want to say, if you made it this far, I can't copy that. You're amazing. I got to come up with my own. But thank you guys, everybody. And everybody, I want to wish everybody a wonderful week. We'll catch you all on the on YouTube streams throughout the week, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Have a wonderful one. Stay safe and be good. Bye, everybody.